Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I just finished up a personal reading for someone and I was feeling inspired by the energy. So I decided I would do a quick reading for all of you here. So I have two decks today. We have the Weaver Tarot and we have the Pastel Journey Tarot. So take a look, see what kind of feels best for you, and I will leave the timestamps below so that you can go directly to your reading. So let's get started. All right, so you have selected the beautiful Pastel Tarot, which has this incredible rainbow finish. So if you want to take a look over here, we are just going to shuffle these up and see what kind of message we have coming in here. I know the holidays are coming up. Some people are stressed, some people are excited. I also feel that there's been a very high energetic flow, and I'm not as into astrology, but I've heard that the cardinal signs, of which I am one of, have recently left a cycle, and I believe another set of signs have come in. And I've definitely noticed some transitions for people, and it's been interesting because those transitions have not necessarily been emotional, or sorry, they have not necessarily been physical, but they've been emotional. So I've just noted shifts in people's energy, which I haven't normally seen. So who knows for sure, but I definitely feel like there's something going on. So I'm just going to find a spot for these cards that won't slide all over the place. There we go. And let's take a look at what you got. So we have Temperance. We have the Ten of Swords. Ouch. Okay. Judgment. All right. Five of Swords. Ace of Wands. Four of Pentacles. Eight of Wands. And Justice. Boy, do you ever have a confusing reading. Here, I'm just going to move this out of the way. I literally jumped into this right after a private reading because I just felt so excited. So my space is not its normal clear zone. Emotionally and spiritually, yes. Physically, no. So, oh gosh, okay. I'm noticing a sense of feeling like there's a lot of work to be done, a sense of betrayal, a sense of grief. You know what, give me a sec. I'm going to reorganize this and then we'll get started. All right, so I have set everything up here to give me and you a better idea of what I'm seeing. So there were a lot of very heavy cards, particularly from the swords. We have the Ten of Swords, which is an ending, a loss, if, for example, you've been fighting for something, it did not work out, it's very painful, to be quite honest. And I see the Five of Swords here representing the grief that came from this experience, the betrayal, perhaps, that you're feeling from this experience. So this is very much speaking to the emotion of what was experienced or what could be coming to be experienced. As a result, you are feeling very much a need to stay grounded, stay stable, keep your cards close, whether that's financially, whether that's with a job, whether that's with your home and your energy. I do get the sense that there's this inability to trust as quickly and easily, and sort of a loss of your light. You've dimmed your light and just kind of keeping quiet to yourself. And so I see that this is going to take quite a bit of time and effort to work through. I think that there's going to be a lot of difficult shadow work that you have to put in, a lot of emotion, time, energy that will have to be put in. But then here was the other thing I found really interesting. We had the Judgment card and the Justice card, which does make me wonder if you were wronged here, whether that was legally or through your work or through a cheating situation or something like that. And I think whoever is responsible will have justice coming to them, whether that's you or the other person. But I think there is a sense of forgiveness or understanding, not necessarily forgiving, but releasing the pain and getting back into a balance of feeling that sense of loss and grief, but also seeing an opportunity for something new. And the Ace of Wands for me is representing that new experience. It's representing that light coming back. And I think all of this work coming from the Eight of Wands will lead you to that fresh feeling of a new beginning, a new journey, feeling that excitement for life come back to you. So I don't think all is lost. I do think that there's something difficult that is potentially going to occur or has already occurred for you. So with that, I'm going to pull from another oracle deck that I really find can be helpful just to kind of get some better sense of themes here. So let me just see. Okay, immediately those jumped. This has been a jumpy deck tonight, so that's exciting. It's not always a jumpy deck. That's why I really, really enjoy it. So I'll just pull 3 for now. And let's see. Yeah, it's kind of mirroring what I was saying. So surrender, which is really accepting what has happened. I think that kind of comes alongside the Eight of Wands work that you're going to be putting in, as well as the temperance of finding that sense of balance and forgiveness for what has happened. Connect to heart. Kind of like I was saying with the Four of Pentacles, you might feel a desire to close the world out or just feel like protecting yourself a little bit more. And that might close you off to your own heart or close off people to your heart that could be beneficial. You know, human experience and human connection is kind of the whole point and the whole purpose, right? So keeping that in mind. And soul work, which I think the soul work is learning how to surrender to the feelings that you've had, accepting what's happened or what will happen, which I think correlates once again to the Eight of Wands. So we have that there. I'll let you take a look at that while I pull out the last deck here, which is my absolute love, the Divine Feminine Oracle. And so let me shuffle this here. I already think I saw. Okay, there are 2. I was going to say I already saw them jump out, but I don't know which one I saw first. So I feel like one of these is going to have more impact than the other. Akilanda, the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. Creating love from pain, I mean. That's a pretty obvious correlation, right? I think it's learning to wear the pain as a badge of honor. And I know that can be a difficult thing to say. I say that as a child of abuse and many things, that it's not easy to forgive your abuser. It's not easy to forgive the people that have hurt and harmed you. But what you can do is really find love for yourself and how you have been there for yourself and protected yourself because you're still here, you know? So that's kind of the beautiful aspect of it. And then the other was Freya, goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. I get the feeling this is more representative of the end experience when you get your fire back. I mean, look at her, right? I think that this is kind of giving you an idea of the goddess that you could become. I think if you want to look up a lot of Freya warrior discussions, imagery, stories, it can really help bring you a sense of inspiration. So I would highly suggest taking a look at that. So anyhow, this has been your reading today. I hope you enjoyed. If you would also like to get a personalized reading, I will leave my link in the description. But yeah, thank you so much for supporting me. And until next time, I'll see you at the next reading. Bye. All right, so we are looking at the ever so lovely tarot from Threads of Fate. This is the Weaver Tarot. It's got that stunning finish to it. So let's see what, oh, I don't know why, but the way this fell, I was immediately intrigued. I've noticed that top cards have gotten more of my interest lately. So let's see what happens. This is interesting, you know, and I really do think that there's some subconscious energy or whatever at times, because earlier this deck was feeling sticky when I was doing a reading for someone, meaning that there was kind of a sense of resistance to concepts or fears and things like that. But now, I mean, all of these cards are just popping up like crazy. Let's see if we have, oh my God. Let's see if we have any others that want to say hello. think that's a pretty clear one. That's also a pretty clear one. Alrighty. So I'm going to pop the rest of them back into their sacred little box. And let's see what has been pulled. Okay. So this is very weird. Okay, someone out there who is watching this, who I may or may not have done a reading for, is going to get very spooked because you saw how random those card selections were. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Conqueror of Wands. We have the Eight of Cups. We have Death. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Seeker of Swords. We have the Six of Wands and the Seeker of Wands. And I shuffled this well. Now it's not exact, but I will say, whoever I did the reading for, you might know who you are. It seems that if you're watching this as well, it's really trying to reach you. And I also think there are some themes here that could be across the board for a lot of people. But I do notice sometimes when I connect with someone, their reading will just show up everywhere, or their cards will show up everywhere, and it kind of shows me where I also connect with that person. So let me take a look here because, yeah, we have the Eights immediately. We have the Conqueror of Wands, which is a step up. It is one of the highest. There's a lot of wands, actually. There's the Six of Wands here, so a sense of fame or acknowledgement. We have the Seeker of Swords. We have Death. I mean, my God, there's so much going on here. Okay. So, oh gosh, all of this is tilted. My apologies. I'm just in my zone. I also never realized that the Six of Wands actually, I don't know if you can see this, has a rainbow at the top of it, which is a little different than a lot of these other cards have. Beautiful nevertheless. So, the Eights. The Eights are a sign of usually a internal struggle, internal anxiety, and having to leave something behind because of the emotion it causes. So Eight of Swords is very much that internal anxiety, that overthinking, that doubt, that difficulty in belief to yourself. Eight of Cups is leaving someone behind. It could be leaving old attachments to certain beliefs behind. It's an emotional release. I do, and I've mentioned this before, I often see this card when someone is leaving a job or a career or something like that. This card does come up a fair bit, which would make sense if you've been over contemplating leaving your job. This is kind of saying, like, stop thinking and just do it. The Two of Swords, it's really freaking me out how similar this reading is. Anyways, the Two of Swords is a difficult decision to make, a very stark decision, and usually it is a blindfolded individual holding this. But you have the eye there. It is there to guide you. And the Seeker of Swords coming after that, which is the page, it's an interesting one because it kind of is telling me that there is a need to do a lot of talking. A lot of the page cards can be very childlike or curious, and I often find that the Page of Swords usually means you need to speak it out until you figure it out. So sometimes I would suggest therapy if you have a really good friend that you can rely on, or a family member, or just a lot of writing or speaking out loud to yourself. That's generally what I find is beneficial. Like, you know, when kids will talk to themselves and kind of guide themselves in that way, I do see that. But then we have Death. And boy, what a card to get in this. Something major has changed. Something very major has changed. And it kind of gives me the idea, okay, new arrangement, because I think this makes more sense. I think your decision regarding what you should do in leaving something behind is going to feel quite extreme, and it's going to elicit a lot of major change in your life. But I also do see this as being an incredible power for you because, do you notice the snake in the imagery? Hopefully you can see it. It's hard to focus with these glittery, shimmery cards, but you'll see here, this is the snake from the Death card. And then if you look carefully at the Conqueror, which is the King of Swords, there is a snake wrapped around the wand, and there's some arrows in there as well. And I do think that it's saying that this death, this thing that you're leaving behind, that you're learning about letting go, that you might have to talk through, is really what makes you become someone who is incredibly charismatic, someone who is relatable, someone who has brought back their fire for life, their passion for life, someone who can make decisions and feel confident. So that's kind of what I get. And I do think that, okay, changing this up again, because you have 2 seeker cards, meaning 2 page cards, more youthful energy. There's a desire to talk and figure yourself out and kind of have this inquisitive nature. But I also do think that there is some sense of enthusiasm that you will build from this. I think that having these conversations with yourself is going to spark something that makes you go, hey, I really want to talk about that. I feel really good sharing this kind of thing, or creating something based on what I'm processing here. And I think that will lead you to being seen as a leader, or someone who will earn notoriety or have a reward essentially coming from that. And that puts you in a really king-like, stable, well-known position. So this is how I see it processing. Now, I will pair this with the Oracle from the same company. So let's just do a little shuffle here. This has been the most... oh my God. I hope you can enjoy my ridiculous antics. Oh my God. Did you see that? Okay. I was going to say this deck isn't normally super jumpy, but it's been jumpy today. And that is the most it has jumped all day. So we have Share Wisdom, which tells me that once you process this, kind of like the Seeker of Swords or the Page of Swords, that you will have something to share. But I also think that this is, again, telling me that someone in your life, or whether it's a therapist or a family member or a friend, is really beneficial to you releasing this and sharing and exchanging thoughts, ideas, and wisdom. Destruction, I think it pairs well with the Death card. There are the eyes there, kind of like owl eyes, so it's not like you're doing this completely blind. It feels like there's some guidance or understanding of the process. And Get Wild, which I actually think is a great card for someone who has a lot of wands in their reading. Definitely look into your fire symbolism overall. If you have a Leo, I would even say sometimes Scorpios can be a little bit fiery too, but Leo, Sagittarius, Aries especially, actually. I think that might be a good place to see if there's anything that might elicit an interesting response. And then we're going to pull from the Divine Feminine Oracle just to see if there is a goddess that represents your journey. And I don't know why, I immediately felt like this would be easy. And do you see that card has immediately pulled itself out? Oh man, I pulled this out a little while ago for someone. It's a beautiful card that I can never pronounce. Vajrayogini. It is one of the forms, I guess you could say, of the Buddha, which has many, many forms. It says here, the essence of all Buddhas. I have the power to make each moment sacred. Everything is material for my liberation. And that, once again, if I should say it a million more times, I think correlates to this idea of your pain from going through this experience, letting something die and release, and then talking about it and getting inspired by it. That puts you in the state of making everything that is material, everything that you are experiencing, a way for you to be liberated, to find liberation in these difficult times. So, oh, what a fun, lovely reading. I really love the energy of this reading. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you want a personalized reading, I will leave my link down below. But until next time, I hope to see you again for your next reading.